Okay, I know I haven't made a video in a while, but I've been making some little gifts that are for when I travel a lot. And I do travel, and I've been traveling a bit more, going to see my son in Kentucky and doing things like that. And when I'm traveling a lot, I like to bring little gifts along, little carving gifts along, because sometimes people see me carving on the, when I carry my tools around, I carve, and a lot of people, ask for things, and so it's nice to have these little gifts that you can give them, and not that take a whole lot of time and have to a lot of energy and stuff like that. And so I've started making these little gifts that I give to people when I'm around, if they're interested in my carvings. Or I went to Tulsa recently and actually attended a little carving show, and gave a few little gifts away. But these little gifts, I want to show you a few that I've done. These are little small gifts. This is the little Larry Green happy tree, and these are only about 2 inches tall. And I carved these. These are very special for people. They really love these little Larry Green's little idea of this little tree. And this is an old pattern and a old thing, but it's still a wonderful thing to carve and give away to someone. And you can do these real quick, and within an hour you can do them, and even sooner than that, some of them, in other words. And of course I'm talking about the painting and the carving both together. It doesn't take that long. And of course I always add, now this takes a little bit more skill. These are the little small 2-inch figures that I do, and I'll put them on these little, you can get these at Hobby Lobby, these little bark bases, and I put them on the little bark bases. And this is another one of my favorites I like to do. Just carve the little easy bird, in other words. It's just a little black bird with just a little colorful wing that he's got on there. And I just put him on just a little branch, cut off a little branch somewhere, put him on that branch, in other words. And just, you got that little, and these are little gifts. And I'm going to show you the popular little things that you can do, and that's what we're going to talk about and do. Little popular gifts that are small, but yet you can give them to someone and they say, oh well, I like that as a carving. That way you don't have to give them a big piece or anything like that. And then also kids and stuff like that. But I find adults want them just as much. So the first one that we're going to talk about, and I've done this piece in a much larger form, that an easy little project to give someone is the little axe and the stump. Now all you need is, this is a little piece of 1/4-inch basswood, and this is a little cut off branch that I have, and we're gonna do the little axe and the stump. And it's a very simple project, but it's a good little thing to give away to someone. And let's get our knife here. All I did here was simply, I've got a little block of wood that is, let me see exactly how long it is. Small. This is all small. All these are very small pieces. Now I want to warn you that if you are a beginning carver, it's not best for you to work on too small of stuff at first. You want to work on larger stuff. And this is simply 2.5 inches long, and this is 1/4 inch wide. No, that's is that a 1/2 inch? That is a 1/2 inch. I'm sorry. I thought it was 1/4. Okay, this is a 1/2 inch wide. And so we're going to make one of these little axes. And it's very simple. I just drew out the little axe on the piece of the 1/2 inch basswood. And I should have known this was not 1/4. And we're just gonna go ahead and carve out this little shape. Now, you can also cut this out on a bandsaw. You can cut this out and it'll go much quicker. Cut it out on a bandsaw, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it without that. And you just follow the little pattern. Is what you want to do to get what you want. Now my finger, I scraped my finger on I was using a little sander, and I scraped my finger against and took a little skin off, so had a little bleeding there. And okay, we're just kind of shaping this out and moving this in. We want to cut this right in here because it's got a little all right, see, we're getting there. I hope that all of you have been well. I had a little incident. That was one of the reasons I broke my toe. I broke my middle toe, not my big toe, but I broke my middle toe, and I tripped over my grandson's little toy, a little truck, and when I was trying to catch myself, I slammed my toe into the bedpost. How, you know, not that any of you have ever done that, I'm sure. And I slammed my toe into the bedpost, and heck, years ago, we just something like that happened. We just taped it up, and that's what I did. Basically, I taped. When I looked at the toe after I'd done it, I mean, it hurt. Golly, I'm a Christian, but I tell you what, I didn't say a lot of cuss words, but I thought some, and that hurts. I'm telling you what. So I just. I called my son and I told him about it, and he said, "Dad, you need to go have it x-rayed." And I said, "No, I'm not." You know, he said, "Dad, you need to go have it x-rayed and make sure it's not broken and everything like that," because the toes were actually, you know, like this whenever so I went ahead and went down to the urgent care and had it x-rayed, and sure enough, it was broken and not anything unusual. And I mean, as far as I know, all you can do is tape them up. Well, I went to the foot doctor, and he was talking about wanting to operate it on it and put a pin in it and all that stuff. And I said, well, let's wait for a while and see if it heals, because I don't want to go through all that. You know, I've got things I've got to do. And so anyway, I taped them together, and I'm gonna have X-rays again in the 19th of September. And sure enough, I mean, it's healing good. So I don't let people operate on me unless it's absolutely necessary. Sometimes these doctors are, And and they're good doctors, don't get me wrong, but some of them, they want to kind of get you laid up for a while. So I took care of myself, and so far the toes coming in good. They're still taped together, and I remember years and years ago, that's all people did anyway. Okay, so anyway, I did that. I broke my toe, and it don't hurt near as much as whenever I hit it. I tell you what, oh, that hurt. Oh gosh, that hurt. Okay, all right. Now we've got pretty much the shape here that we want. It's not perfect right now, but we're gonna make it. Now, of course, it's 1/2 inch thick, so we're going to have to. Now, what you want to do is you want to separate the head of the axe from the handle. So we're going to do that right here. And so that was my little adventure. I broke my little toe, and you know, I stayed off of it, but I'm not the kind of person who just, you know, he told me about, you need to just sit for a whole month and do nothing. And I looked at him like, well, this guy's lost his mind. But anyway, oh, I have fingers and stuff like that I've messed up and just taped them back together again, and they did all right. You know, I mean, they're not all perfect, but you know, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring this handle down. Is what we're going to do, and then we'll bring the head of the axe down. Now watch your wood grain, the way it does it, because on one side I can, you know, carve one way, and then you have to turn it over, carve another way. So right now I'm just bringing the handle down. So anyway, that's what happened to me, and I was wearing that boot for a little while. You know, that shoe they give you that's looks like got your toe exposed, and it's like a walking boot. And he told me to wear that all the time, but that thing was just uncomfortable to me, and so whenever I could, I'd put a little shoe on and stuff like that. It just, you have to let your body tell, you know, sort of tell itself to you. And but I mean, I'm doing good. Obviously, I broke it, but I didn't dislocate it. It said it was dislocated, but I didn't dislocate it that bad. Okay, we're getting this handle down, and this has got to come in a little bit. And this was an old way of this is an old way of whittling not an old way, but I mean, this is an old project that perfect for, you can do one in less than an hour, these little axes, and they are perfect for giving little gifts. They are perfect for them. And I'm going to show you, there's some little spoons we're going to do. There's some little, just little projects that are perfect for this. Okay, now let's go ahead and start. See, we're shaping our handle real good. We're getting that down real well. You want to just drag that knife across there and make sure your knife is sharp. But let's go ahead, and now what we do on the handle is we come from side to side to give it that curvature that we want. Now that that axe may be just a little bit too big, so let's take a little bit more off this a little bit more off this right in here. So that was my little adventure. Of course, this is as everybody knows, we've been very fortunate. This is the hurricane season that we're in. This is the 1st of September, and things will start ramping up pretty heavy along this hurricane season. We've had a good August. Haven't had a lot of storms out there, but one good thing is that they have downgraded the number of storms. The Weather Channel has, the Hurricane Center has downgraded the number of storms that we're going to have this year, major and minor storms. So we're real happy about that right now. So thing is about that Gulf, anything can just crop up. We always think it's got to come from Africa, but many a times these things will crop up just in the Gulf by themselves and over little things. Now you see how we're doing. We're bringing that on each side. We're making that we're going to come to this point where in fact, you can actually turn around and do it like this. There we go. And this way, and but yeah, it's this is of course the hurricane season, and this is the most dangerous time of our seasons, and we're just hoping and praying that, and see as we now, there's a problem here. I need to take some of this off so it even it up a little bit more. There we go. And then bring that down. This is the most dangerous time of our hurricane season, and you know, this is something that we are concerned with every year. But you know, I know that there are people every year that are concerned with tornadoes and mudslides, and in California there's fires, and so we all go through our little thing here of having to deal with catastrophes and with things that can cause a lot of problems. And of course, from somebody who knows, who lost his home in Hurricane Harvey, you always get a little bit nervous at that time. But you know, you just have to trust in the Lord with all thy heart, lean not on thine own understanding, and all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. And that is what you have to do when you live down here, because I'm telling you what, these things, like I said, you look to the Atlantic, but this Gulf, many a storm that have caused problems have simply just cropped up here in the Gulf. So we watch for that as well. Okay, now, and we're really starting to see an issue, you know, and what we want here. Now, we're just going to kind of do this with our You notice that actually it's best to wear a thumb guard. That knife is actually hitting but I'm carving so lightly that I'm not putting any pressure. So I'm just dragging that knife. So actually the little chips are getting in between my finger and that, and okay. I need to come over here. And I'm out in the garage, so if you hear a bunch of our neighbors are going to be moving. We're going to lose two wonderful neighbors around here, but we think we're going to get some good neighbors where they're at, so I hope so. Tell you, neighbors are a treasure, folks. Good neighbors are a treasure. They are a treasure. They peaceful. You know. The Lord says we need to live in peace and be peaceful people. And when people are peaceful, it's a good thing. I know there are people that live in neighborhoods that are just turmoil constantly, and I feel so sorry for people. I do live in a good neighborhood. I have good neighbors, and my neighbor and I next door almost like brothers. I cut his yard and he'll cut mine. Like when I broke my toe, he was cutting mine, and we just get to get along, and that's a blessing, I'm gonna tell you. But always remember, you gotta give a little bit too to get. If you're gonna be a good neighbor, you're gonna have to act like one. You can't just take from everybody else. Okay, now here we go. We've got here